At first, we didn't even understand what the hell was going on. Well, by we, I mean those of us who don't hold degrees in astronomy and quantum physics. We were told the Earth's spin was slowing and would come to a full stop in less than 5 years. The first real hint that something was going on was the sudden malfunction of all the GPS systems worldwide. Flights were shut down, and those of us who were raised in the computer age couldn't even find our way to work without it. It was about the second week when everything really started going wrong. The oceans started flowing toward the poles. Didn't really seem like too much, but it gave me a horrible feeling, and I began to realize something terrible was happening, and there was nothing any of us could do anything about it. No one really knew why we were suddenly losing our spin, but rather everyone had wild guesses. Some were saying the experiments to dig to the center of the Earth's core caused the magma to stop flowing. Another attempt to blame the government, I suppose. Then there was the theory that the moon had fallen too far out of our magnetic field, causing chaos within the electromagnetic field that surrounded our Earth. And lastly, of course, there was the theory that aliens were to blame. However, in reality, there were no real reasons, and there was no forthcoming admission from the government or from aliens, and the moon sure wasn't talking. The third month was when all the looting started, and as the oceans continued to flood the polar ice caps, the air in the subtropics and in the tropics, certain cities of higher elevation, soon became unbreathable. The scientists said it had something to do with the actual shape of the Earth. I really couldn't wrap my head around the whole concept. All I know is that people began to evacuate. People were being robbed at gunpoint. Stores were having everything taken from them. And then the stock market crashed. And that was it. It took 3 months of us being under siege by an unknown and unnamed assailant for the world to fall into total chaos. Humanity was losing everything that made them humane. I guess it really hit us in the 5th month of slowing. The Earth was spinning at 225 kilometers less per hour than normal. The days and nights were 48 hours long. By now, the Earth had fallen into a complete state of misanthropy. Humans were no longer welcome. And then the earthquakes started. They were hitting in places that made no sense, places that had never seen earthquakes before. Long dead volcanoes were suddenly spewing ash and magmas. Thousands were dying, and this was only the beginning. As the oceans continued to move, Britain became connected to the mainland Europe. Ireland was part of England. Cuba was connected to Florida. Mexico was 3 times its original size. The upheaval was throwing everything off. Fear and panic was striking everyone, everywhere. Even worse, only the top and bottom third of the globe were habitable. The air around the equator was basically non-existent. Not even the hardiest mountain climber could live there. It would have been like living somewhere 3 times higher than the height of Mount Everest. With that came the solar radiation. That part was easy for all of us to understand. Stand in the sun more than 15 minutes, you die. Pretty simple, right? Only at first, we didn't realize it. Those who did stand outside too long died. Well, the lucky ones did. The others developed radiation sickness. It was horrible to watch. It was like those movies in the old videos of Hiroshima. By the time 2.5 years had rolled around, the horrors I'd seen was like nothing you could possibly imagine. It's impossible to describe the low, that humankind has fallen to, and what I've seen at that low. Those people who stayed in England, Russia, and Germany, they've all died. And as the water sucks up to the part of the northern hemisphere, even American cities as low as New York and Chicago are gone. 6 billion people are wiped out, and that's a number I cannot even begin to fathom. Our days are now more than 125 hours long. That means it's light for more than 60 hours at a time. With the lack of sleep, hallucinations are setting in. The survivors of the radiation sickness have it the worst. They're living in damp, cold caves and basements, and they've become cannibal. They come out during the night hours, which last for days now, and hunt people. You see, all the migratory species have died out, and the non-migratory animals, they're smart enough to stay away. Even now, as we approach the 5th year, days and nights are 6 months long. These creatures continue to stalk us. Very few humans have chosen to band together. You never know when your partner is going to begin hallucinating from lack of sleep, or maybe being caught outside in the daylight too long. I don't even really know why I'm recording this. Maybe in the hopes that if there's anything out there in the cosmos, maybe they can understand what has happened to us. I heard there's a megacontinent that opened up down by Florida. The air is still breathable for now, and there's seas in which to fish for food. But I don't know if I can make it. I'm gonna try. But in all honesty, I am so tired, and it's so hard to distinguish reality from fiction. It's starting to get darker during the day now, too. I know those creatures will be back with their skin falling from their bodies and their missing patches of hair. Well, I'm heading out at first light with a small band of neighbors. We're going to try to make it to Florida. The real nightmare is knowing that this will never end. I don't know if the human race will be able to survive this. We're almost on the verge of extinction now.